This is the Ditch Your Backup Plan podcast. I'm Jen Valanga. This is episode 42 and Death of the Diva Decade, featuring Sherita Carthon. Follow Sherita at Sherita Official on Instagram, SHERITA Official.
Here's another social media page that I just redesigned. Here's just some ideas you might want to think about. And here's some metrics that might help you increase your fan base for free. Here, take it. No problem. And from that, they work with me. Once you work with one celebrity, then other people like to share you. Especially if you're good.
Sherita Carthon is a celebrity brand precision expert who has helped more than 3,000 celebrities, artists, entrepreneurs, and small business owners navigate their brand. An award-winning speaker, she has been featured on VH1, Fox, ABC, MarketWatch, Ask.com, and most recently Live with Les Brown, discussing her innovative project, the Celebrity Sales Method. Tomorrow marks 1 year since I launched the Ditch Your Backup Plan podcast, and so much has happened in this year. I couldn't be more grateful for your listenership. Thank you. It's really crazy to go back and listen to the trailer and listen to what we were thinking about the arts and not having any idea what was going to happen in the future. And still, we persist. The guests I've interviewed have assured me and all of us that we will continue no matter what, as hard as this year has been. It is the age of the creator and the storyteller. So if you are a performing artist and you find yourself consuming more than creating, well, get out there and create. I hope Sherita will give you some ideas and tools for how you can take control of your brand in 2021. Here's my interview with Sherita Carthon. Hey, Sherita, how are you today?
I'm doing so good, Jennifer. I am so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to finally get you on. Where are you calling from today?
I am calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
You have any snow right now?
We don't have any snow, but it's Ohio and it's also Cleveland. So today it could be snow. Tomorrow it can be sun shining like we're in Miami. I call Cleveland the all-season state in one day.
So we're similar that way. You are a celebrity brand expert. How did you become that?
Working with celebrities. That's the short answer of it. Just learning from them, how they operate, how they move, and then also how they connect with their audience. And I was just working with celebrities. You learn so much about humility. You learn so much about strategy, right? Strategy is the most important thing when it comes down to your brand. And so over the last 20 years, I've had an opportunity to take all of the lessons, the experiences, and also some of the things that I've done for celebrities and comprise it into one comprehensive package. That's why I call myself the celebrity brand expert.
And you have a method that you use to help celebrities with brand.
Yes, it is called the Celebrity Sales Method. So that method comprises of 3 specific components. And I break them down in avatars so people can understand what it looks like on a very basic level. So we have the first animal, the first archetype is the rabbitor, which is the rabbit turtle. Then we have the second one, which is the bull. And we have the third one, which is the hamster.
So explain each of those animals and what they mean in your method.
So let's start with the rabbitor. The rabbitor is the rabbit turtle. That is the person who is consistent, disciplined. They're very teachable. They ask a lot of questions. That's the person that shows up on time. If you were in school, think about it as you're a student. This person is always hungry to learn, always willing to compromise, always willing to be in place when they're supposed to be there, always willing to just take things another step in the extra mile, because not only do they want to learn, they also want to be in a position to teach.
I love that. And rabbit turtle, so you got slow and fast in both of those things.
That is correct. The rabbitor knows in any era, doesn't matter if you are in a down economy, like right now, we are in the midst of a pandemic. And so the rabbitor is always going to win in a down economy and an up economy, because they understand how to shift gears and also how to learn on the go.
Tell me about the bull. I can almost picture this person. We all know the bull, right?
The bull is the favorite, right? The bull is the jock. The bull is the cheerleader, right? The bull is the confident diva, the one that everybody wants to be around. The bull is the person who he just has it all together. He has marketplace value. He's the great influencer, but he is stuck. The only way the bull is motivated is by that red flag. And if that red flag isn't there, the bull is just stuck. He doesn't know where to go, how to navigate, where to be. The bull is stuck in his personality, in his archetype, his character, his ego that he's created. And now in a down economy, this is the person that freezes, gets stuck, doesn't know where to go, doesn't know how to navigate or to move. This person actually hires the rabbiter, right? Because they're so stuck, they don't know what to do. So the rabbiter is the one actually guiding the bull through this season. So what I call this season is the death of the diva decade. It's the death of the bull because they are going to have to be humbled in a
Mm,
real and a harsh way.
good, good. Okay, so then how about the hamster?
So the hamster is that person who's just starting out in the market. They don't have any pre-market value, but they also aren't listening. They are so excited. They're all over the place. They're running everywhere. They're doing everything. They're trying to get energy here and there and there and there, and they're not stable. They just want to be so much all at one time. These are the archetypes that are people that have multiple businesses at one time. So they're running a nail shop, they're running a chicken shop, right? They're running a tool shop. And it's just like you don't know what to get from the hamster because they're just everywhere. And so the hamster is that kind of person that you just want to settle down, sit them down and say, what is that one thing that I can get from you that will allow everyone to know who you really are? And so the hamster just really, really, really needs a lot of guidance. He's eager, he's ready. He's not quite the bull, but he's not interested in being the rabbiter because he just wants to be seen and be out there.
Got it, got it. And so what do you think somebody who's just starting out, like you say, how does it serve them to know these different archetypes when they're thinking about their own personal brand?
It serves them to think about these archetypes because if a person understands exactly where they're trying to go before they even launch their brand, before they even put pen to paper to write their business plan, they need to know what they're up against, right? And so, my greatest suggestion is that, of course, everyone aspires to be the rabbiter because this is actually the age and the era of the rabbiter, someone who is going to be able to shift down and shift up correctly. But I would say that just the hamster or just anyone who wants to understand where they are, I would actually want them to identify where they are and what they want.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to be an influencer and be great and be egotistical, what is the downfall of that? If they want to be all everywhere and just do everything, what's the downfall of that? And also, what's the downfall or the benefit of being a rabbiter? And then what does that actually mean for you, not just right now, but for the long term?
You've been doing this a long time, working with celebrities on their brand. How'd you get into that?
So the way I got into actually doing this is a very interesting story. So in college, I went to an HBCU, Wilberforce University. It's about 20 miles outside of Dayton, Ohio. I went to school for journalism to write for Gannett USA Today, and which I actually did. But the last semester of my schooling, I took a graphic design course and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the manipulation of typography and design and elements. And so I just took it that and ran with it. I didn't know if I was going to use it or not. I just enjoyed the class. So shortly after graduating from college, I went on to be a journalist. I wrote for the Gannett USA Today newspaper chains, went to the American University in Cairo,
Wow.
just yeah, and wrote for their public relations department. Really, really amazing things, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy whatsoever. And I came back from the American University in Cairo and I sat down and I really asked myself, what do I want to do? And so I had an inspiration, but I was hungry. So I went to a chicken joint. I was in the mood to have some barbecue. So there's a location in Cleveland called Ken's Chicken Wings. And I went in there to get some chicken. And I think everyone anywhere who has ever been to a store, a laundromat, a restaurant has seen that whiteboard. And the whiteboard has all of these advertisements all over the board, if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And
Yep.
right, and yeah, that white paper you just pull off the little tab and call it, call up if you want a babysitter, right?
Right.
I just pulled every single advertisement off the board. I took it home and I just started redesigning their artwork, right? Their brand, their business card. So what I did was I called up the people and say, hey, you don't know me, but I saw your advertising at the chicken place on the corner and I redesigned your brand. If you want it, it's yours. You can have it. If you don't, it's okay. I just wanted to give you a different perspective on your brand. And that's how it all started. That is how it all started.
It's amazing that you say that, Rita, because one of my former guests, I want to say it was like episode 6, Ross Evans, who's a screenwriter. He talked about how he and his partner didn't get to do a pitch for this film and they just did it for free anyway. They were like, well, they don't want us, but we're going to just give them something and say, take it or leave it. But we did it anyway. And they actually ended up getting the contract. And so that's a common theme about, you want to do something, don't just ask to be paid for it. If you really want to do it, especially if you're starting out, just do it and share it and see what happens. I love that.
The thing is about celebrities is they're so busy, right? They're so busy doing so many things for so many people and giving, that when people put themselves in a position for them to give to that celebrity, the celebrity is almost taken aback because they don't, it's almost like it catches them off guard, especially if it's good, right? And
Sure.
so I put myself in a position and said to many of the celebrities that I've worked with, I said, hey, I know you don't know me and it's okay. I redesigned the same method, that same simple one method. I said, hey, I went in, I redesigned your social media. Just here's another social media page that I just redesigned. Here's just some ideas you might want to think about. And here's some metrics that might help you increase your fan base for free. Here, take it. No problem. And from that, they work with me, and it just word of mouth then, right? Because
Sure.
once you work with one celebrity, then other people like to share you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially if you're good. Again, laboratory behavior. You show up, you're there, you're on time, you're prompt, you're delivering in excellence before time, right? It's better to over deliver than under promise.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the thing is, I've always made a promise to say, hey, I'll get this to you by 5 days, right? And I get it to them the next day. And they're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't
Nice. Yeah.
expecting that, right? And so it has allowed me to really understand people. And the core heart of the celebrity sales method is taking everything back to the basics, right? Taking everything back to a method that I learned from Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the idea, is to give like you that you there is no tomorrow, right? But also living your promise, living your value, and then also be able to give what you said you were going to do, like be able to show up the way you're supposed to show up. If you're supposed to be at a meeting at 2:30, be there at 2:20. Right? Just
Yeah, I'm certainly time challenged myself, but I'm someone who shows up, and I preach that you should show up. If you want people to show up for you, you have to show up for them. So I love that you say that. Are there any celebrities you've worked with that you can reveal to us?
Yes. So I have worked with Christina Johnson, which is CeeLo Green's former wife.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a project for Brandy Norwood of Moesha.
Nice. Uh-huh.
I've worked with Chandra Corelli of Tyler Perry Productions.
Amazing.
I'm currently working on a project with Yazra St. James, which is the vocal coach and also background singer for Erica Badu.
Wow,
And
yeah.
yeah, she sung with Madonna and just so many other people. And so Ashley Norrell, which is the also the background singer for Rihanna, for oh my gosh, she's sung for so many people. Oh my gosh, Rihanna.
Seems like a lot of women. Seems like a lot of women that you're working with, which makes sense because you're a powerful woman yourself.
I believe in working with women because there's not to say that there's anything wrong working with men, and I can stand behind that because I've worked with some amazing guys, but a lot of women are in the position to not understand their worth, or a lot of women are also in a position where they they need to see themselves in a different light, in a beautiful light, in an amazing light, in an inspiring light. And so when I'm able to design for, not only women celebrities, but celebrities, period, I always keep in mind elevation, excellence. And so when I'm able to show a woman that there is power in who she is and what she represents, it reinforces my power as a woman as well, right? Because we all have that. I say this, there's a thing that I talk about. I talk about me and the neighbor. Can I share that with you guys?
Please, please, I want to hear about
Okay.
me and the neighbor. Go ahead.
Okay. So me and the neighbor, when we think about our neighbor, we always think about the neighbor who needs a cup of sugar, right? And we always think about the neighbor who needs a pie or candy, right? And so we are always making sure that we're not just giving the neighbor a cup of sugar. We're going to give the neighbor the whole pound, 2 pounds of sugar. We're going to give the neighbor not a slice of pie. We're going to give the neighbor the entire pie. But we always forget about me, right? We always forget that we're not only that we're going to take care of the neighbor, but we forget that the first thing that we need to do is take care of ourselves. And women are always in a position that they are always giving and stretching themselves thin for everybody else, right? The husband, the son, the daughter, the PTA, the the soccer team, um, just so many other things. The organizations were always saying yes to everything else but to ourselves. And so me and the neighbor just puts in perspective that I deserve what I give the neighbor.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, sometimes I'll think about when I'm not focusing on my own self-care, I'll think, well, would I treat my best friend the way I'm treating myself? No, I would care for her very well. And that's a good way. I'm going to start thinking about that, me and my neighbor.
Yeah, me and the neighbor.
Amazing.
It circles back around to the celebrity sales method because in the method it talks about before you can be the bull, even being the hamster, that the rabbitor understands the balance between going fast and moving slow. In the middle means that we're taking care of business on both ends of the spectrum.
How do you deliver your program?
So yes, so the program, so we had the program out, and then the thing is, it has grown, right? And so we are now by actually by February the 15th, the entire program will be released via a training course. Pre-orders are coming out, so yeah, so we'll have the pre-orders up ready for people to not only order the book but also get into the course, the celebrity sales method.
Amazing. Cool. A lot of my listeners to this podcast are recently out of college, college grads, or on the younger side of artists, being artists who are sort of waiting out this pandemic. This seems like a good time for them to work on their brand. What are some of the pitfalls that you see related to not having a brand when you're an artist?
My goodness, this is such an amazing question. I'll preface it with this. I'm on Clubhouse and I was in a room with Tiffany Haddish, and she along with Jason Lee and several other celebrities, they were doing a project called Talent Unlocked, and they got down to the last three, and the three that were selected were amazing. And so it was down to the final two. And the person that I thought should have won, Tiffany Haddish, said this. She said, I would pick you yesterday. But I can't because when I look at your social media, I can't tell that you're ready to do business. And so I have to go with the second girl, which was the person who actually had some level of social media presence. She had her bio together. She just really had a presence about herself. And it shocked me. It really shocked me. And then once that happened, I went into another room and another celebrity was talking to someone who were they were ready to give a record deal to. And I actually saved this young lady, but they said, you, this girl, she sounded like Janelle Monae mixed with a little bit of Janae Aiko. I think I'm saying her name right. And she was amazing. And he said, but I can't see you in a record. I can't see you because your brand is crazy. And so I spoke up and I said, listen, don't worry about her brand. Within the next 24 hours, I will have her brand completely solid and ready to go. And it wasn't even 12 hours. I completely flipped her brand.
Ooh, I want to see.
Yes, and I will send you a link to her Instagram to let you guys see exactly what I did. But I flipped her brand, and now she is getting vetted by some of the top music executives in the industry for her music. And so, to answer your question, is that at this point in juncture where we're in a pandemic and your brand is not solid, it is the only level of reference that people have as to whether they're going to actually do business with you. So if you don't have your brand in alignment and you don't understand what that means, definitely get in contact with me. I have 15-minute free consultations. I will tell you exactly what's wrong, exactly what you need to change and fix in the most simplest way so that you won't miss out on some of probably the greatest opportunities that are going to come your way in this era. It's vital.
Yeah, when you that's amazing. When you send me those links, I'll put them in our show notes so listeners can go in and check out. Can they see the difference? And
Oh yeah.
then
Oh
they can
yeah.
see what was before and after. We'll be able to see that.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What do you say to the person who does a lot of different things? Let's say they're an actor, but they're a lighting designer and they're a writer. And how do they bring their brand under one umbrella when they do a lot of different things?
The most amazing element of organization has been created in the most simplest way, and I am so excited about it, and that's Linktree. If you have
Yeah.
not heard of
Yeah.
Linktree, right? So Linktree, if you're doing so many things, here's the thing: we understand that this is the world of multiplicity. So we understand that there are certain number of things, certain number of things that you're going to do because you have so many different passions. We're going to talk about that in a second, but what I'm going to recommend is to get a link tree so that you can be able to not only organize how people can connect with you, but they're also going to be able to figure out how they want to connect with you, right? So we talked a little bit earlier about the hamster and how the hamster has so many things going on. And so maybe you are a singing nail tech, right? But I want to book you, right? I don't know. But I want to book you for a studio session, right? So on your link tree, you can have a link to your Instagram for booking me as a singer. That way, I personally know as a buyer of your products and services that the only thing that I want to see is you being a singer that I can book in the studio versus someone else looked at your Instagram, a different Instagram that has your nail portfolio, right? And you do amazing nails. And so on that link tree, I am going to go to their Instagram, right? That has specifically all of your nail pictures. And so we're in a society who, number one, does embrace the fact that people do a multiplicity of things, but we just want the organization to be able to see, okay, I want you for this specific thing. So Linktree will allow you to list all of those things in all those separate links. Even if you have a website, that you can list that so that people can go there. or you can
Yeah.
Instagram or Twitter.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm on Clubhouse as well, and we can get into that a little bit because I'd love to know what you think. I know you've been in there. So I have been seeing. I think that's the first time I've seen Linktree was in Instagram. So in Clubhouse. For those of you who don't know Clubhouse, you can link two places. You can link to Twitter and you can link to Instagram, and that's it. You can't connect with anybody any other way except your voice, but you can go click on their profile where they have a bio. You can put all kinds of stuff in your bio, but you can only link to Twitter or Instagram. And then when you go to, and it'll say, go to my link tree on Instagram. And then you go to Instagram, you go to their bio. We're all used to link in bio. The link is Linktree, which is this beautiful mobile ready sort of tree, basically just buttons, and you pick the button for the thing that the person does. But are you saying, Rita, that they should have different Instagram accounts? So let's say I'm a screenwriter and I'm an actor. So now I want to have an acting Instagram and a screenwriting Instagram and a babysitting Instagram or whatever, graphic design. So you could have several Instagram accounts. Doesn't that diminish your audience a little bit?
Absolutely not. So what Instagram has become is actually a departmentalized media where people are going to specific pages for specific things. And so the greatest person that I can pinpoint is Courtney Adelier, who is the CEO of the Main Choice brand, but she has a coffee brand. She also has a popcorn brand. Her daughter, who is Lily Frilly, has a little girl brand with hair bows, right? And so her main page is Courtney Adelier. So most people will go to that page to see the things, her hanging with her family, her going on a trip, on a yacht or whatever. But she has all of these other companies. And the reason why Instagram has become a departmentalized media is because people are becoming more specific, right? You would think because the world just gives you everything that we would just want everything all at one time. No, most people are people of organization and we're very specific about what we want. So if you offer cat socks, I just, and only thing what you sell is cat socks. I want to go to your cat sock Instagram, and only thing I want to do is watch videos with cats and socks, cats, playing with the sock, sock, sock shoes, whatever. I mean, just sock and cats, and that's it. Specific. Right. And then if I'm going to a page where it's graphic design of caricatures and anime, though that is exactly what I want to see. Because when I'm looking at that page, I'm making a specific decision. And so when you get to the place where you understand how social media is operating right now, you actually increase your algorithm, you increase your reach by saying on your regular page on Instagram, hey, I am, Jennifer, but Jennifer is also the CEO of at Cat Socks of Instagram, at bring your own DYP. I'm just saying your name.
No, because it's not you, Rita. Everyone, DYBP is not easy to say. Ditch Your Backup Plan is easier to say than DYBP. Right. They're not four letters that roll off the tongue easily. So I wasn't on Instagram before. I was always on Facebook because I've always been connected to universities. And back when it was only an EDU platform, I was early on Facebook. So that's where I've always been. And then when I started Ditch Your Backup Plan, which has been almost a year now, I was like, dang it, I need an Instagram. So I did DYBP_podcast, and that's what it was. But then I started seeing that people really want to know who you are, and people who know me would look for no one's going to look for DYBP podcast. No one's looking for that. So I switched my name to Jen_Valenga. But I have almost exclusively Ditch Your Backup Plan stuff there. But I have other things going on. I have the university. Now, I just the other day, I was like, I'm on sabbatical right now. But when I come back to the university, I may be like, I should put in my bio at K-State Theater in there as well so that they know I'm connected to that page. I've got some other little initiatives going on. I could connect to a different page. So, yeah, I switched to my name because I was like, people want to know who you are as a person. Absolutely. So then My
Absolutely.
question is, let's say a person had cat socks and anime. Where do they put their own name? And do they have a third that's their own name so that if someone goes, this cat sock person also does anime? Who is this? And then they can go
Right.
to the person,
So
or how does
typically,
that go?
right. So typically, what you do is okay. So if you are, let's just say that you're in Instagram and Jennifer, right? So you have Jennifer V, right? Which is your
Gen V, but yeah.
central page. Yeah, Gen V. So if it's Gen V, everybody's going to go to Gen V because they know who? They know Jen first, right? So you're the first level of contact. In the bio where you're putting I am the owner of at Cat Socks, right? So at Cat Socks of Instagram. And then and at anime. So they're able in Instagram to click on those pages at the at in your bio. Once you go to the cat page, so the cat page is there.
I
Only thing
just
you're
have
going
to
to say,
laugh.
right, cat socks of Instagram.
I
It's a
love
thing
it.
now, right?
Yeah.
So once you go to the cat pages, the cat stocks of Instagram, you're just going to put in the bio owner Gen V. And so they're going to link back to Gen V, right?
Got
And
it.
then your anime page is the same thing. You have the cat stocks of Instagram, Gen V head, cat stocks of Instagram, anime. So click on anime, you see all of that, and then owner or CEO Gen V going back to Gen.
This is so valuable, and I am mailing you a pair of cat socks.
Cat socks.
That is amazing. So, I don't want to keep you too long. I want to know, what are your thoughts on Clubhouse? How long have you been on there?
So I have been on Clubhouse since December the 30th, and it's
Oh, me
now the
too.
27th. Is it the 27th
27th. Yeah,
of
I got on the
January?
30th as well.
Oh, yay! We have the same Clubhouse birthday.
I
So
know.
as of right now, I have 1.2 thousand followers. It's only been,
I have like 125.
oh, we gotta get you up. We gotta get you up, Jen.
I don't care about followers, but I know I need to. Okay, so you got over 1,000 followers. Talk to me more about that.
So the only thing I did within the first 30 days is I stayed in a lot of rooms, but I also became the casting director for a play production, right? And so we held auditions. So I put myself in a position to be seen and to be myself and to be heard, right? And to be funny because people love to laugh. And so I
Hmm.
started trending on Twitter. And so people started following me.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
but but there's other ways. There's so many other dope ways to reach that level of status.
The first couple of weeks, I was like, "Oh my god, this is a game changer," and I love it because I love the voice medium and all of that. But then I just felt like it was everybody telling you could make $1 million, or everybody was seeming to try to sell you something, and I'm like, no, I want to have a real conversation with someone. And
Hmm.
so the smaller rooms, and of course, as a theater professor, the theater work was interesting to me and walking into some of that. But the smaller rooms, I've gotten a lot of value out of. I've run some voice and speech rooms to get people's voices more confident at speaking. So that's been fun. But I have to say, I've gone a little cold on Clubhouse
Right.
just from the everybody trying to sell something. What do you think?
I had this conversation with a good friend of mine who's also, I call her coach, who's also a really good friend of mine. I actually invited her on Clubhouse and a couple other people on Clubhouse. Here's my take on that is that when you go into these rooms, you do not understand that you're talking to the bull, right? You're talking to the
Right.
person who's talking to the other bulls who has no concept of who and what people are really going through and what they're really dealing with. And so you become jaded and you become offset because you feel like your voice isn't being heard and you feel like you have been invited to a room that you are not even supposed to be there because it's just like they're speaking jargon that you have absolutely no clue about And you're wondering, why in the heck am I here? What am I doing here?
Why didn't you make it a private room? Yeah, if you're
It's
not going to
a
include.
peacock show. It's a peacock show. And so what's happening is there is an outlay of creators who are now doing what's really supposed to be done. And this is what you said, the smaller rooms, where I was joking with someone. I said, I am going to create a clubhouse called Thousandaires.
Love it. Because there's, for those of you who don't know, there's so many rooms called "How to Be a Millionaire." You're going to be a millionaire. Well, how can you make $1 million under 30 days? It's the millionaire rooms. So you want to do the thousandaire rooms. I love it.
I want to do a thousandaire room because I want to say, let's peel the layer back, right? The truth of the matter is, you're talking to people who are not where you are. You are someone who just came out of corporate, or you're sitting in your 9 to 5 cube, and you're really ready to just walk out the door and quit within the next 2.5 seconds. And you want someone to come on here and to guide you through that process, who you can connect with and talk to and be able to really relate to, and allow them to mentor you through the process of creating your first $1,000, not your first million, because you have to get to the thousand first, right?
That's good.
And
Yeah.
you know, and so when you have those type of conversations, you bring people back to reality, because the thing is, you can't relate to a million if you haven't made 1,000. So, and speaking of 1,000, it's not even about making 1,000. It's actually about the mindset of, how do you get to a place of financial stability, even your brand to a place of financial stability, a core structure where first you understand what the heck is going on,
Yep.
and you're able to gather up a plan like the celebrity sales method, and like other methods that, my friends and people in the collectives that we teach, that if I can get to first base, I can easily get to third, because I know the strategy, the structure, and the plan to make that happen.
But don't start me by telling me you're going to get me to do a home run.
You can't get a home run if you've never been on first base. Let's get to first base first, guys. Let's get there. Right? Let's get to the place where, we go back to pulling advertisements off the wall and having one-on-one communications with people who really need our help.
Yep.
It's the age of the laboratory. It's the age of us coming back down to the basics and being able to teach in a real level, where people from the ground floor can get it, so that we can really raise up real or millionaires organically by making our first dollar, or making our first 50 cents, like whatever that is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be $100,000, but these are not the people who are in the room. You can't answer their questions because you don't know. So you offer words of affirmation and saying, good luck with that. And that's not what you need.
No.
Not what you
No,
need.
that's great.
You
So
know?
on a similar theme, Rita, when I don't know if you listened to my collage episode on making it that I did this week. What are your thoughts on making it, and artists who want to make it, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, and
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean to make it as a celebrity or not?
Okay. Making it is something by your own definition. So everyone has their own idea of making it. But my idea of making it is being around people who can teach me to be better than I currently am. Right. And so for an artist, I recommend getting with people who have memberships, who can actually guide you and walk you through the process. Right. So there's a friend of mine, his name is Keith. He is an executive with Sony Records, and he has been in the industry for a really long time. And he has a project called Writing Sessions of America.
WSA.
And Writing Sessions of America, and he actually takes artists from the ground floor and teaches them every single thing they need to know in order to be successful in the music industry, right? As a songwriter, as a producer, but he just doesn't teach them that. He also teaches them how to build their business from the ground up. Those are the people that we need in this era. We don't need people to say sweet things in our ear and make us feel good. We need people who are ready to work with us from the ground floor. So that's what it means to me, is to make it and to be successful, is to understand that there's work to be done, but it's not going to be hard. It's going to be smart.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And then also connecting with real people with real results who want you to be really successful.
Yeah. Supporters.
Yep.
So, in this pandemic moment, there are a lot of artists who are feeling really in a slump. So, what are some pieces of advice you could give them, or what's a piece of advice you could give them to get out of the slump and stay motivated towards their goals right now?
The craziest answer ever: get on Clubhouse.
Really?
Absolutely. Here's the thing: you're in a slump because you're not in energy, right? You don't have to go to the millionaire rooms. You can go to a really small room where you can actually sit there and express yourself, or you can listen to other people express themselves. Once you are in the energy of something, it shifts the way you think, the way you feel, the way you interact, not only with yourself, but with other people. You don't have to say absolutely anything. The thing is to be in the room so that you can honestly hear what other people are doing and how they're flowing. And once you understand that, it's automatically going to shift your mood. And so the greatest example I have is my son. My son is an amazing artist, but he's an introvert. And the thing is, the pandemic has completely killed his emotional state because he just found himself in a room depressed, right? He was on Instagram, but Instagram, if you're not doing an Instagram live, and Instagram live is still kind of still because it's just people chatting away, and you may be talking to somebody else, but it's all self promotion. Versus being on Clubhouse is that everyone is in the room. You're hearing everyone talking. The thing is about communication. When you have someone that's on a stage that's talking and you have the same ideas or feel the same way, or you get an aha moment, it inspires you to either want to talk or write. My son jumped on Clubhouse and was able to listen to people in the industry talk about the things that he's passionate about. So he texted me, he's like, "Oh my God, mom, this is so great. I can't believe it. I'm inspired. I'm writing. I just finished my EPK." In this era, get on Clubhouse.
You watched that happen firsthand.
Firsthand, and not just with my son. I watched it happen with about 7 other people, from all the way from people who said the exact same thing that you said, Jen. They said, "I hate these millionaire rooms, they're getting on my nerves. What do I do?" I say, create what's not there. This is an open earth. This is brand new.
I got to do a ditch your backup plan room and invite some of the people
You
that have been
do.
guests. Actually, now I'll be able to invite you because you've been a guest after next week.
Yes. Yes. You have to do it. Yeah, because the thing is, if the millionaires are having all of the fun and they're having their cocktail parties and stuff like that, and then people, because the thing is, after a while, it's going to get boring and people are going to be turned off unless you step up and do what it is that you need to do and create that room and have that conversation. Because if you're feeling it, if you're thinking it, someone else is too. And that is why we're here, because we need to step up to the plate and have our voice be heard for all of those people who are sick of the millionaire rooms and want real and authentic conversation. Enters Gen V, enters Sherita Carthon, and enters so many of all of us that are ready to scoop you guys up and redirect you.
As soon as this releases, we're having a room and we're going to say, ditch your backup plan and talk about that.
Ditch it. Let's go. Well, here's the thing: is again, it's a Peacock show, and the thing is they don't even want you to come up and ask a question. What
No.
they want you to do is stay in the room so the rooms can be populated. They can talk amongst themselves, right? And then they can also gain followers, right? Because the thing
Right.
is, these rooms are populated with thousands and thousands of people at a time who believe that they have an opportunity to connect with a millionaire and all of their dreams will come true. We're dealing with Vegas right now, okay?
It's a hard game to play.
Yes.
I wanted to ask how my listeners can connect with you.
The central way to connect with me is at carthonconsultinggroup.com with 1G.
Got it. And I will link in the show notes so that people can follow you and connect and watch for your work coming out. This has been so fun. I'm so glad to know you, Sherita.
I know, Jen.
I know your advice is going to help so many people. I really appreciate it. Next week, I'm bringing you Gianmarco Ceresi, a stand-up comic, actor, and writer. Follow him on all the socials at Gianmarco Ceresi, GIANMARCOSORESI. You should really check him out on TikTok. He's got a lot of fun little stand-up bits there. I'm Jen Valenga. This is the Ditch Your Backup Plan podcast. Thanks for listening. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, we're at Fearless Friends.